السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. رب لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم، والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. We have been studying Abasa, chapter Abasa, and last week we studied verse 20, 21, 22, and while we were studying verse 22, there were some questions that we didn't have time to deal with. So first, before going into the questions, I have to just summarize what we did. After everything, as the verse 20 says, the human life is adjusted to the conditions of this world, bodily and also from human soul side aspect. We can bodily accommodate ourselves in this universe perfectly, and also our souls, it means our feelings and reasoning, intellect, our consciousness can communicate with the universe perfectly. We can ask questions, we can get answers and may not get answers, but they are all perfectly arranged and made our life easy in this world as far as the conditions of living conditions of this world. It gives us the opportunity to accommodate, but at the same time we have many expectations, hopes, wishes. We have a lot of fears, but the universe may not comply with them, may not answer to these needs. But this is also perfectly, purposefully arranged in order to teach us and teach us what our reality is and help us understand what is the reality of this universe is, what is the reality of this existence is. So everything is arranged for a purpose. But afterwards, whoever created us causes us to die and puts us in our graves. What is happening here? Death, we discussed this, death is subject to our body because our body has been composed of the elements of this world, and this world, elements of this world, by definition, are temporary and they continuously change. They are limited. They cannot remain as they are even for a second. They are subject to change They are under the control of something else. So we cannot really trust these elements which constitute our body. So this body is brought into existence and made subject to change, made subject to grow and decline. That's a purposeful creation. But one side of us never changes. This is our soul. This is our emotions. This is our human side. It doesn't change. It is always with us. Of course, the human side has also an element which is extremely important. We always try to remind ourselves that we have free will to acknowledge it or not to acknowledge it. That is our choice. But we are human beings. You have to think, everybody has to think of his own existence, his own reality. Now, when the body becomes or is created in a way that it has lost its life, it means life is taken away from the body. So body becomes a part of its own elements without any living quality. And also in this body, which doesn't have the living quality, the soul cannot reside in it anymore. So the elements of the soul are not mixture or combination of different elements. Its nature is completely different. The nature of human soul has no material element. It is not composition of some matters. It is something in terms of, if we want to describe it in terms of this word, it consists of completely abstract notions, abstract things, whatever it is. We cannot perceive it, we cannot touch it, but we are absolutely sure that such a being exists within my own humanity. As being a human, as a human being, my conscience acknowledges it, recognizes it, that I have some qualities apart from my body, which is not subject to change, which is not composed of many different elements, but it has so many qualities, but these qualities are not of the nature of this universe. I am combined with these different kinds of creation. One is body, the other one is human senses, human qualities, which is usually called the human soul, human spirit. Human body is subject to change and life conditions of the universe. So the Creator makes it come into existence, makes it grow, and makes it age, and makes the body disintegrate into the elements, it is original elements, which is earth, earthly things. That is called grave. It means the body is going back or is taken away and put into its original elements, which is normally called earth. So it is made up of earth, made up of clay, and it is turned into earth again. That we said last Monday, it is a great news. Why? Because if my body is made up of earth, and at the end, if it is going to be returned back to its original elements, composition, it means my soul is also going to be returned to its original source, which is not in this universe. Because human soul is not made up of these elements of this universe. That's a great news. It means I may lose my body, doesn't matter. I will still continue my existence by going back to my source, which is not subject to change, which is not subject to temporariness, finite beings, but a constant being. That's the great news. Death doesn't bother me because my body will be taken away from me. I don't care because I am not the body. I am, as a human being, my spirit, my soul. That is what I call I am. But when it comes to my body, it is not really the main element of my existence. I am residing in my body, but my body is not me. My body is or is the home of my spirit within the conditions of this universe. Now, when the home is taken away, my body remains alone. So the verse 22 says, ثُمَّ إِذَا شَاءَ أَنْشَرَهُ. It is interesting. Oh, we will study this. Then when he wills, he shall raise him again to life. But when he wills, of course, I cannot will by myself to exist, but only the one who gave me existence can will, can choose to raise me again. It means can give me another home. Raise from my material side, raise the material size and put me in it again as he did before. But only the one who gave me the body can do it. So we have to think, who can give the body so perfectly arranged in order to be used by my spirit in order to communicate with the rest of the creation in which I am created. The verse 20 refers to this. Then he made the course of life easy for him, which means I can use as a human being my body in order to make my course of life easy for me. Can we follow this? It is important to notice that whoever adjusted all the tools for my spirit to communicate with the living conditions of this world can also adjust my new creation according to the capacity of my soul. Give me another home to operate through this body. That is why it is very important for me that I will educate my spirit so that it's, as my spirit capacity increases, the body will be the tools to operate within a new creation will be appropriate to the capacity of my soul. That is why the verse 23 says, كلا لما يقضي ما أمره. By no means has he fulfilled, human beings have fulfilled what he has enjoined, what he has enjoined upon him. It means he gave me the capacity. The capacity is so huge that I will never, ever get to the end of it. The human capacity opens to eternity, goes out of the universe with its qualities. But in order to communicate with this universe, I am given the tools. But human capacity still goes beyond the limits of this universe. Let me check the chat box. Is anything? Okay, thank you. So, what does it mean? It means it is a delicate point here. If I could develop myself to the very last point of my capacity, I will feel suffocated. Why? I cannot go beyond it. I want, but I can't. No, my spirit it's already beyond the capacity of the universe. I can imagine eternity. I can imagine beyond this universe. I can imagine beyond the living conditions of this life. My wishes, my expectations, my hopes go beyond the limits of this universe. I know that my body is going to die. I'm sure of it. It means going to be put in the grave. I'm sure of it. But my human side expects more, asks the question more. What is beyond life? There must be something. I don't want to die. I don't want to disappear from my existence. I want to satisfy myself even more than what I have done here. Oh, enormous. My spirit really is excited to go beyond the limits of this universe. But my body doesn't allow it. The universe doesn't allow it. The capacity of the universe doesn't allow it. So I feel that the one who created me as a human being, by giving this limitless capacity, is promising me that you are not created for this universe. Mind you, you have a capacity which goes beyond the limits of this kind of creation. But you have to fulfill a job which is within your capacity. By using the universe, you can come to conclusions which goes beyond the limits of this universe. How? For example, whenever I need something, I want to be satisfied with it. And I see that the means of satisfaction has been provided for me in front of my eyes, my hand, and I can have an access to it. That is beautiful. But I say, But what I experience here, while I am communicating with the things which are provided for me to satisfy my need, as I use it, they disappear. They don't persist. And I am left in despair, saying, oh, the thing that I used disappeared itself. It cannot be the origin of the satisfaction. It is just a means, just a tool to carry a message to me saying, look, I cannot satisfy you. Look, you have to look for the one who sent it to me, who prepared it for you, who prepared me for you. Think about it. Who can provide, who can prepare this thing for you? So they say, look at me, you will understand that I am created by a one who created the whole universe, because I can only exist within the conditions of this universe. You can see it. Everything is directly put in contact, interrelated, intertwined with each other, and the universe, the order of the universe in its entirety is perfectly working. You see, I didn't come to your service by myself. I was sent to you. I was prepared to you by the one who established, who set up this order of the universe. That is greatness. I say, I have to get to know him rather than, for example, typical, but simple example, of course. Please don't say that in this virtual room we use always the same example. But this is a typical example. I am hungry and the food is there, created on the tree or on a plant or in the body of an animal, whatever, in a fish body, for example. Yeah, and I eat it. I see that, for example, I ate fish and it disappears. And fish, the body of the fish has no consciousness, nothing, but it is prepared for me. I have to investigate how the fish is coming into existence and how it grows, how it is possible that I can get it, and how I benefit from it after I eat it, how it becomes a source of nourishment for my body in order to continue the physical existence of my body. That is a perfect arrangement. That's an unimaginable order in terms of this universe. It's unimaginable. Who can do that? So I have to say, I have to come to the conclusion, the universe is arranged by a conscious being, and this conscious being is whispering into my ear, saying, hey, I am here. I know what you need. I am preparing everything for you. Get to know me. I notice Afshan Haq's hand is up. So although we haven't finished the verse 23, what does it mean? The human beings can never fulfill what it has given the capacity. It means fully use it, fully use it. Within the conditions of this universe, it is not possible because my body, my duty as this universe is concerned, my duty, my expectations go beyond this universe. So how can I go beyond this universe? But intellectually, I can. That's what we are going to study today. Go ahead now, Efshan. Sorry for making you wait for me.
No problem, doctor. I want to know 8023. Is it referring to a person who does not even attempt to look beyond the universe? Or is it just that we could never fulfill the entire potentiality of the spirit? Which one is it referred to?
The first one. No, 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 no. Not a person, everyone. No one can fully fulfill what he has been given the capacity. No one can, because the capacity goes into infinity. How can I reach the infinity? How can I reach it? But there are degrees, of course. There are degrees of fulfillment, but not to the end. Never reach the end. In this world, we know that within the conditions of this world, none of the mathematicians can find the last number. It is impossible because human capacity is open to infinity, but the universe does not allow us to get into the infinity, into infinity. So no one is, as I understand, not necessarily this word كلا لما يقضي ما أمر, not necessarily means that a particular person has not fulfilled what he has enjoined upon him. No, not everyone, but it doesn't, it is a general statement which says, you will never be able to fully fulfill your capacity, but try to. That is why our duty is very important in this world to notice this. Our duty is not to reach the end. Our duty is to turn towards the right end and speed there, make speed there, go. Although you cannot reach it, but you will aim at it. So everyone will be, if you like, rewarded according to their aim, not according to the distance they cut or they made. No, according to your aim. But if you are consistent within yourself, you see, which is called sincerity. Sincerity, it means if you say, this is my target, but I don't go there. This is my target. I don't want to make any effort to go there. But the target is infinite, but we have to take the opportunity to go there as fast as possible. It means we have to use our human capacities to acknowledge it is infinite, their infinite source. Their infinite source. For example, I know that the universe has been created by a one who has infinite power. Otherwise, this universe cannot be explainable how it came into existence. I cannot. Only attributing it to an absolute power, to a being who has an absolute power, who must have an absolute knowledge, etc. So I have to get to know the absolute. Is it possible? It is infinite. How can I get to know the absolute? But I have to get to know him closer and closer and closer. That is called in the Quranic language, muqarrabun. Those people who are made closer as a result of their effort. It means I have to acknowledge, I have to search how his infinite power is manifesting itself, and momentarily, every moment, I have to be cognizant of his presence. I have to be cognizant of the presence of his power in every action, and I have to acknowledge it. I have to submit to it. I have to submit to it. Afshan, would you like to say something else? I think your hand is up. You want to talk?
I just wanted to say that, is it not a negative attitude, Dr. Murmur, that no matter how hard you try, you cannot reach it? And it also confuses me because I think of our example, Prophet Muhammad, that he transcends. And from my understanding, it appears that he did reach this high point. So should we not? It feels like a little discouraging, this verse.
No,
That's how it feels to me.
no. First of all, I think there is a misunderstanding. What is that misunderstanding? First of all, how do you know that the prophet reached the end? If you say Quran says so, Quran doesn't say so. Quran says there was a very short difference between him and, Kaaba Kausay, not touching, but getting closer. It means human beings can never touch infinite. But we know that such infinite being exists, that is different, but can never realize in its fullness. It is impossible. Even in the description of this particular ascension, it doesn't say it is, or the one who is ascending reached it. But it is not discouraging. But because we have to seek the infinite here, we have to run. But in the conditions of this world, we cannot reach it, but we are thirsty for it. We are dying for it. That is our aim. Within the universe, we cannot reach it, but we know that we have to reach that aim. If it is not possible within the conditions of this universe, it must be possible because desire is given to me. I hope you get it. The desire is given to me. So I have to yearn, I have to seek to reach my source of existence. If not within the conditions of this universe, which is true, it is impossible. The universe is limited. My expectations have no limit. So there must be another type of creation that will be somehow possible according to the conditions of that creation. But we don't know that creation, but we know that such a different creation must exist. The verse 22 says, and he shall raise him again to life. It means he will give us the body Again, according to the capacity that we have increased, we have developed in this world. For example, it's a very simple example. School example is everybody familiar with. So you go to school, you learn, everybody learns at different levels. Of course, no one learns at equal levels. Everybody is unique in this world. Everybody is unique. So everybody has its own speed of learning, capacity of learning. I mean, in terms of everybody has the same capacity, but turning this human potentiality of learning into capacity differs and depends on people's efforts, their endeavor, how much they try to learn. So after graduation, what they do, they practice what they learned. Can you practice more than what you learn? No, I don't. So you can practice as much as you learned. Is there any end in learning? Who can say that this discipline of science, in any subject, any discipline of learning, has an end? No, because the universe has an end, but human capacity doesn't. Goes and investigates and discovers more and more and more and more, never ends. For example, the human beings are trying to discover the secrets in the creation of this universe. How wonderful it is arranged, how wonderful principles that the universe has been established in its existence. Can we get to the end of the principles of the existence of the universe? I don't know. Go and ask those people who are studying and going in deeper and deeper in the structure of the atom. What do they say? The more we discover, the deeper it becomes. In the way the human cells or the living cells work, the more we discover, the deeper it becomes. That is the miraculous aspect of the creation of this world. Amazing. Let me see in the chat box because I concentrate. Yes. Yeah. To comment. Yeah. Somebody made a comment on YouTube. This is also the case for our desire for unlimited happiness, satisfaction. Of course, we are given, thank you for these good comments, actually. Safina says, is our attempt to reach him developed through taqwa? Taqwa is another word to be studied, my friend. So taqwa, what does taqwa mean? So of course, what does taqwa mean is another huge question, but we are trying to make it as simple as possible. So try to get to know the source of the qualities that we are experiencing here. For example, I may say, look at this universe, it is so huge, for example. So the one who gave existence to this universe must have a huge capacity, huge power. Yeah, which is not wrong, but how do you practice it in your practical life? Do you see this huge, unlimited capacity of the power in, for example, in one plant, in one stone, piece of stone to exist? Now it needs exercise. It needs exercise. We have to work. We have to try hard as much as possible. We cannot get to the end, but For example, as our friend said, it is very discouraging. For example, I know your profession, but it is a public place, so I wouldn't disclose it. But let's say you are studying engineering. You know that there is no end in studying engineering. Does it discourage you? Since I'm not going to get to the end, why should I start? No, everybody starts from very young age to learn more and more and more and more. When you get the profession in this subject, you still get excited to discover more. When you reach the level of being a professor, sorry, being a professor, I confuse the words. Professor, you still study more. You get excited more to learn more. You retire, you become professor emeritus, okay? You still want to go further. Why? The more you discover, the more you get excited, and the more you get closer, but closer to the endless, of course, the more you want to improve your capacity to become aware of it before you leave this world. That represents ascension, the ascension by the prophet, and also we have to try our ascension within our own capacity. That's what we have to learn. I mean, believe in God, get to know God is not only the profession or only the duty of the prophets. Prophets are there, out there, in order to be examples for us, so that we will emulate them. We will do what they are doing as much as we can. So if I go to a class taking a certain subject, if I see that the professor knows a lot, I say, I don't know this much. Okay, I'm going out of the class. Or it is an encouragement. Is it an encouragement? Or the professor knows a lot, so I can learn from him. So I may become, as much as I can, a knowledgeable person in the subject. So it is an encouragement for me that it is open. The way is open in front of me. I must go. I must go. It is not a discouragement that you know that there is no end to learn a subject. No, on the contrary, we say, oh, I may go further and further and further. Let me see the chat box now. Good analogies says, sure, somebody, I mean to say that because, I don't know what happened. No, I changed let me go back. Okay, let me go back to one of our friends wrote, sure, I just mean to say that because he gives us the desire to be happy perpetually, we can reason that he will fulfill that desire by giving us eternal satisfaction in the hereafter, but according to our level of development, improvement, that we shouldn't forget. According to level of our development. That is, to me, important. Why? It doesn't mean that my capacity is huge. For example, if I studied, typical example, studied, let's say, computer engineering. If I studied and continued eagerly, sincerely, I could learn a lot, much, much more than I know now. I know nothing, in fact, about these engineering subjects. Nothing almost here on the practical things. Now, this is my capacity. But if I don't use it, do I learn anything? No. If I study 1 year, I learn only the knowledge which could be obtained in 1 year. If I study 10 years, I know I learn only as much as possible to learn within 10 years, 10 years time span. So I learn as much as I can. Exactly the same. My capacity is open to the infinity, but it doesn't mean that I am a candidate for the infinity. But if I don't study, if I don't learn, I know nothing about it. If I learn something, I know that much. That's why this verse says, you will never be able to fulfill fully, so you have to try your best as much as possible. So that now I am coming to the question. Last week, let me see, the questionnaire is here or not. Yes, my friend is here. They asked the question, what is the life in grave? What does it mean? Life in grave, they keep talking about it. That's a very interesting question. There are many narrations about it. It is not our principle, by the way. Those people who join our discussions recently, they may not know that it is not our principle to refer to the hadith and the verse and say that, oh, since hadith says so, since verse says so, it must be so. No, we have to understand, we have to confirm whatever the hadith says, whatever the verse says, so that I will have confidence in my belief in the verse or in the hadith. So we have to try to understand them and try to see the evidence to confirm that news that I learned from the Quran, I learned from the Hadith. I have to look for the evidence because belief is not blind acceptance. Belief is establishing certainty in one matter, in one subject. How can I make certain in one subject? I have to have evidence, I have to experience it, and I must develop certainty within my own feelings. Yeah, it must be so. That is called belief, right? Certainty, being sure about it. So if you want to establish your belief system, you have to have your evidence, and at the end, if you are convinced, you have to confirm the conclusion. And the verses and the prophetic sayings and examples are conclusions. They say, investigate, find out the evidences. I will show you the path, how to reach, how to get, how to have the access to these evidences so that you can confirm me. If you read the Quran carefully, you will see that there are many verses encouraging human beings to look for the evidence provided by the Quran and work on it, use your intellect in order to understand and grasp this evidence that it, it is really proving the correctness truthfulness of the news, so that I say, now I understand, I confirm. Now that is why we cannot really just read the meaning of the verse as an if verse says so, it must be so. No. Now, of course, prophetic narrations mention quite a lot about the life in grave. It's a period. It's a period. It's the passage. Ismuth, they say technically in English. So Barzakh in Arabic word. So doesn't matter. These are technical words. Now, what it means, when my soul has been taken away, let's understand this. When my soul is taken away from my body, because when the life is taken away from my body doesn't function. For example, would you, as a human being, would you like to stay in a house which doesn't function anything, doesn't do the job? What do? You go out of it. That's why the Creator, after taking the life, look at the word, I'm not saying soul, after taking the life from my body, the Creator takes my soul away, because when my soul was put into my body was alive. Before my body was alive, in the womb of my mother, the soul wasn't there. That is how the order of the creation demonstrates to us. So when the life is taken away from the body is not an appropriate dwelling place for the spirit. The spirit is out. It means the spirit is not in the body anymore, but the spirit is not subject to change because it is not of the matter. It is constituent parts are not the matter which is subject to change. For example, the principles of the order of the universe, the qualities we experience in the universe, do they change? For example, we experience the quality of power manifesting in the universe, quality of knowledge manifesting in the universe, quality of compassion, quality of justice, quality of absolute free will manifested in the universe, because we know that these qualities are the manifestations of the source of existence of this universe manifesting themselves. They never change. Although where they manifested are continuously changing. The plants are growing, animals are aging, galaxies are aging. Everything in the universe is constantly changing, constantly changing. Not only continuously, constantly changing. But the qualities are not changing. It means the material side of the universe is changing and limited, but the source of this material side of the universe is a constant. It doesn't change. Everything comes into existence manifesting the absolute quality of its creator. Let me give a simple example, very simple example that I very frequently use. When you read a book, You can change the pages. You can steer the pages. Can you destroy the knowledge manifested in it? You can change it, you can burn it, but knowledge is still the knowledge. Information is still the information. It doesn't change. Of course, people's, human beings' perception of the knowledge, it is different subject. We are making an analogy between a book and the knowledge. You can burn the book, but you cannot burn the knowledge. The universe is continuously changing, but you cannot change what is manifested in it. You cannot change the maker. That is understood. So when the life is taken away from the universe, from my body, my spirit is, how do you say, alone by itself. But it doesn't belong to it doesn't belong to the nature of this universe. As my body goes to its origin, my spirit will go to its origin. Where did it come from? Since its capacity is open to endless, it must be created by an absolute being, and it goes back to its origin, to its absolute being. That's what the Quran uses. وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. You are going to be returned to your origin of existence. That I understand now. The news of the Quran says, yes, you are going to be taken, returned to your origin of existence. Don't worry about it. The news of the Quran says, oh yeah, when I understand that, yes, I'm going to be taken away to my origin, who is absolute, infinite, why should I bother about death? Death is subject to body, not to me. So body dies. Body, the life is taken out of the body, not my spirit. My spirit lives alone. Then this is called the period of the passage of qabr, barzakh. It means life in the passage, or ismuth, they call it. I don't know the word. Let me see the chat box. There is also a question by Nada that you did, of course. Where is it? Let me go back. So each soul will be given a different body according to the extent that soul learned in this world. Oh, it is an excellent comment. Although it is put in the question form, but it is an excellent comment. Of course, everybody will be given its degree, his or her degree, according to the level he learned. And everybody will be given the opportunity of job to the capacity of this person learned. That is what the next word is all about. As much as I develop myself, but in between, when I die, now I am taken away from this world. Be careful. Be careful. My body is subject to time, because my body is subject to the terms of the creation of this universe. Be careful here. But does my soul, spirit, subject to time? Does my soul, is my soul subject to the conditions of this universe? My soul is a completely different nature. Nothing to do with the conditions of this material world. So when my soul is taken away from my body because my body is not functioning anymore, is not helping my soul to operate in this universe, my soul is left alone. And time, the concept of time, continuation of the creation of this universe is time. So when my soul is out of this universe, out of the conditions of this universe, is it subject to time? It's a very important question. For example, a part of the universe is subject to time because the universe is subject to time. It is a part of it. But if something is not a part of the universe, can it be subject to the conditions of this universe? It's a question. The answer is obviously out there. No. So we don't know when I go out of the conditions of this universe what I will feel. But there is an important word, but, that we have to discuss. Now, if you are worried about something, if you are feeling happy, if you feel some pain, what is happy? Your skin is happy? Is your body happy? Is your spirit happy? For example, as an example, God forbid, if somebody cuts his arm and puts it there, do you think the arm feels happiness or pain or anything? Human spirit. The person's arm is there. You can step on it. Does it feel anything? Or when something happens, when you feel happy, when you feel sorry, who is experiencing it? Your spirit, not your body. So when we think about the life in grave, we think that something is happening to the body. No, something is not happening to the body. Something is happening to your spirit according to your perception of your existence, according to your understanding of the location of your existence or where you belong to. If you belong to the world, while you are in this world, you feel the fear of death at every moment. It is with you. When you die, this fear will remain in your spirit, not in your body. So this period from the creation of this world and transferred into another world, we can only understand in the conditions of this life by making sure that the difference between the life of body and the reality of my spirit. I experience all sorts of feelings in my spirit, not in my body. In my spirit, of course, while my spirit is residing in my body, it communicates with it. So when I am ashamed of something, you can see the traces of the feeling of the spirit on my face, reflected on it, because I am subject, when I am living in this world, my spirit operates through the body and communicates with the universe. So the situation of my body is transferred through situation of my spirit operates through my body. That's why the Quran says, very important, we have to understand this. We shouldn't imitate the Quran. It makes perfect sense. سيماهم في وجوههم من أثر السجود. Excuse me, this is the verse I wanted to remember. So, something new. CDR says, so if our soul, spirit, feels happiness, pain, and the other emotions, then is our body just a manifestation of those feelings? No, yes, CDR. And also be careful, a little, it needs a little bit, change in it. So I think you understood from after you wrote something, then my body, my spirit is communicating with the universe through my body. That's why my happiness can be seen in my eyes, on my face. For example, if I am ashamed of doing something, you can see this feeling expressed on my eyes, but it doesn't mean that my skin is feeling it. My spirit is feeling it. That is how we are put in contact with the universe through body, within the conditions of this universe. Of course, the spirit is created in such a way that it always needs a tool to operate. That is why we have to die. It is good that we have to die in order to operate through a body which allows me to practice what I am expecting, which is not found in this world, in this universe. I want to see, for example, the beauty as it is, not as it manifests itself within a limited beautiful things here and on a temporary base. But I want to be in front of the beauty manifesting itself not in a limited way, not on a temporary base. That's what I want. But this universe doesn't allow me to do that. As much as I am aware of the quality of the beauty and practice it in my life, not saying that, God's beauty is endless. It doesn't mean that you don't know. You know it. For example, if I say, for example, that in engineering, in physics, let me say, in physics, they investigate into the particles of an atom. It doesn't mean that I know it. That is just general knowledge. Such thing exists, but unless I study it, I don't know it. Unless I study it, I don't know it. But saying that there is such a knowledge out there is only the knowledge of existence of that knowledge, not the knowledge of that knowledge. There are some people who know the details of atomic structure. It doesn't mean that I know it. For example, if I say God's power is absolute, it doesn't mean that I am aware of it. I have to experience it. I have to try to see the manifestations of the power in everything. I shouldn't be negligent of it. For example, I may say the universe is created by God, okay, but this tree gives a good fruit. Or universe is created by God, and fruit is created as if by the tree. It means you didn't see the creatorship in the existence of the tree, neither did you see the creatorship, the power of creating, the quality of creating in the existence of the fruit. It means your knowledge of power is extremely limited and very trivial. Although you used a big word, such as the universe is created by the Almighty God. That's good. That is correct. But did you become aware of it? So that did you learn it really? Did you assimilate it in your spirit, in your soul? It needs work. That's what the Quran keeps saying, believe and work. Do good deeds means what? Practice your belief in your practical life. To say that God is all knowing, practice it. Everything you encounter with, see the knowledge of God manifested there and say, this is nothing but the knowledge of God manifesting here. I am happy to see it. I am happy to become aware of it. Education, training is necessary. So come back to the life in grave. So life in grave, you can experience it here while you are living in this world without before you die. Why? In fact, according to the capacity of your life, your body is a grave for your spirit. So, not your body, but your spirit feels whatever you are experiencing, whatever you are feeling. So, if you, for example, if let me talk about myself. Oh, there are again some things going on in the chat box. Let me see. Okay, thank you, Ali. All right. I feel it, not my body. So when, if I understand that, whatever I learned in school, when I graduate from the school, I am out of the school. Am I not? Out of the school. What remains with me? Not the walls of the school, not the chairs and tables of the school, but what remains with me? The knowledge I acquired in the school. Right? So when I die, look, after I die, what will happen to me? I have to understand while I am here in this world. I shouldn't speculate. For example, how the next creation will be. I have to understand how the next creation should be before I die. What will happen to me after I die? I have to experience it before I die, how the life will be after death. I have to understand it and digest it while I am living in this world. So no one can make a speculation after he dies or she dies because he doesn't know. It is another type of creation. We are not given the opportunity to experience it. But what we understand now, using my unlimited capacity of the spirit, and also evidences out there in the universe, I can understand what will happen to me after I die. I can understand within the limited capacity of the universe that the creator of the universe must be necessarily infinite. Do I know infinite? I cannot grasp the infinite, but I know the necessary existence of the infinite. Do you understand this? For example, did I get to the end of the computer science? No. But I know that the computer science has no end. Did I get it there? No. But I know such things must exist. Because the capacity of my spirit lets me understand, comprehend the existence of infinite, although I don't experience it. Now, I cannot experience the living conditions of life after death within this universe. This universe does not allow me to experience life after death. But my capacity allows me to understand the necessary existence of the capacity of life after death while I am living. We should never forget this. We shouldn't speculate. We shouldn't speculate the life after death because we don't know. We have not given the capacity to experience it while I'm living it. But I am given the capacity to understand the necessary existence of it. That's why Quran, for example, that's what another subject that we have to deal separately, but that is just referred to it for now. Quran gives the description of paradise and hell. Do we not notice that Quran's description of paradise and hell in terms of this universe? And the Quran also says the next creation will be completely different. يوم تبدل الأرض غير الأرض. That is the verse that came to my mind for those people who know Arabic and are familiar with the Quranic verses. We will change the world into a completely different world. Yeah, but the different world, paradise and hell, are described in the Quran in terms of this word. Why? Because we have to make the analogy. For example, what do you like most? What are you expecting most? How much you are aware of it? Then you will be given of it as you are given the things that you like in this world. But it will be multiplied by infinite. Why? The next creation will have must have the nature of permanence. Yeah, it must have a nature of permanence. So I will multiply it. Although I cannot imagine infinite, but I can know that such thing must exist. So we have to experience the conditions of the grave while I am living in this world. So that I will say, after I die, such a thing must exist, but I don't know the essence, the nature of that creation. but must exist. We know that. I don't know the essence of the creator, but creator must exist. I don't know the nature of the creator, but I understand that a creator must exist with his absolute qualities. Must exist. For example, I can see that mercy is everywhere in the universe. Mercy must exist. But do I know mercy in its essence? No. But I know that the one who created the universe is merciful and letting me know that he is merciful through his act of creation. Sometimes he doesn't create what I don't like, and I say, oh, where is mercy? Mercy is missing here. Also, I become aware of the necessity of mercy more and more. It means it is a way of teaching that the Creator is merciful. Do I know the essence of mercy? Essence of mercy? No. But do I know that mercy exists? Yes. Now, we have to know that life in grave must exist, and I have to see the traces, signs of such creation within the conditions of this world. I must also apply the same thing to the eternal life. We call it hereafter, after resurrection, the life in paradise, life in hell. I can understand only through thinking, reflecting about the conditions of my existence within the universe. That's why the Quran uses the descriptions of heavens and hell by giving the examples of this world. This world, fire burns, you cannot stand. Fire is this world. But in the eternal life, if I don't acknowledge the truth, if I don't acknowledge the reality, if I deny it deliberately, I will have a burning life. Is it possible? Yes, if I know that in this world, I will die and got rotten in the earth, the worms will eat me, because those people who don't believe in God describe and imagine their existence in terms of body. So their body will be eaten by worms and insects. So they feel, oh, I'm going to be eaten. You see the fear. We will study this in the following verses, but this verse is so important. Let me see we are almost, the time is up. But these verses are so important. I don't want to just leave it behind and go and try to finish the chapter. The point is not to finish the chapter. The point is to have a satisfied heart that what Quran says is really, really correct. If it is correct, of course. If I can confirm it, I will believe in it. So I say that I see that the Quran says you will be risen again by the one who gave you existence in this world. And you will be taken into account, and you will be treated according to your treatment of the truth, according to your submission to the truth. How much did you do that? How much effort did you spend on it? Accordingly, you will be living in this world. For example, the extreme examples that I was giving trying to give it before I check the time. Accordingly, I have to wrap up the subject. So while a person who doesn't believe in God, who doesn't believe in the Creator, who doesn't believe that there is a purposeful existence in this world, there is a conscious Creator who is giving us, arranging everything, he has to feel that he is made up of these atoms and he will die and turn into the earth, no consciousness, no awareness. While he is living, how does he live? How does he live? I am going to go into non-existence. The insects are going to feed on me. Yeah, I cannot stand a fly to stand on my skin, but there the flies are going to eat me and I will go into non-existence. How much this person feels happy, do you think? Isn't that the life in hell described? His desires for perfect satisfaction, his desires for infinite happiness is eaten away by the insects. How much this person will be happy? How much can he be happy? Only he says, forget about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. Don't mention about death, because he cannot stand it. His spirit cannot stand it. As the Quran says, the fire of hell is not possible for you to stand. You see, yes, this is the description of the next life for a person who deserves to go to hell, but to become a candidate for the hell, how he experiences in this world. So the opposite is true as well. If you see that you belong to the absolute being who created the universe and manifested his qualities in this world, you are from him, you will be returned to him. In front of you is waiting all the absolute qualities of the Creator. As he gave existence to you, he will take back to himself again, because he brought you here. He gave you the opportunity within this place of training. Then in the school of the universe, we call it, we are learning who or what our source of existence is, who is our creator, who is taking care of our life, who is arranging our life, maintaining our life, and then sustaining our existence. So we are investigating, questioning, and we understand that he is the one who provides everything. For example, he gave me what I need now. He enabled me to speak now. He enabled me to think now. Otherwise, matter cannot make me think. Matter itself cannot think. Matter has no quality to give me the quality of thinking, quality of consciousness, quality of fear, quality of hope, quality of love. Cannot. It doesn't have it. Matter is matter. You know that. But these qualities are not from them. So anytime anything happens to me, this is from my Creator. This is the way the Creator is introducing himself to me. So I come closer and closer, and I know him better and better and better. So my happiness level increases higher and higher. You see, I am preparing myself for paradise while I'm living in this world. So to believe in paradise, to believe in next creation, must happen while I am here. I have to confirm the news from the revelation while I am here, not after I die. After I die, the life conditions will change. The probation conditions, the education conditions will change. It will be too late because after I graduate from the school, that is my degree. That's it. That's it. That's an analogy. If I go out of the school, I may learn more, but this is just an analogy. The education system, education opportunity is given to us within the school. When I am out of the school, that's it. That's it. I will be given whatever I deserve to be given while I am in this world. It means however I live it in this world, accordingly I will be treated in the next creation. What will happen to me in grave, you can experience it. What is happening to you in the grave of your body here? What will happen to me in the hereafter? You will experience it while you are living in this body, how you feel that your future will be. How do you experience it in this world? So that you will be given a life multiplied by infinite there. But at the same, at that level, infinitely, permanently, you will be there. So we have to understand that we should never speculate about a type of creation which is not given to us the opportunity about which the opportunity is not given to us to experience, but we are given the capacity to understand the necessary existence of this type of creations. That is the gist of the verse I understood from this. ثم إذا شاء أنشره كلا لما يقضي ما أمره. Inshallah, we will continue from the verse 24. Let me see this one. Yeah. فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَى طَعَامِهِ. It's then let the human being reflect on his food. Why? The evidence is necessary to be given. So we will study the evidence next week on Monday, inshallah. So before Monday, I hear that Eid al-Adha is going to be on Friday. So I would like to say Eid Mubarak before Monday. So, but I would like to see you on Monday, including Saturday. Next Saturday, inshallah, we are intending to hold the class, and Monday we will continue the next verse, inshallah. Thank you for your contributions. Everything you joined us, you wrote in the chat box, and also you spoke, but please express yourself more as much as possible, as much as you feel comfortable. But we are not expecting any perfect presentation, any perfect question. No, as much as you can, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Jazakumullah khair. See you on Saturday, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.